See, we got Neil out in California. Neil, welcome in. Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, Neil.
Yeah, thank you guys. And hey, you know what? I appreciate you guys. But and I will just go so far as to say that the narrative changed 3 plays into the game.
Okay, yeah.
And the fourth play, the narrative flipped back.
You're right. Neil, is that
It's
when you
sickening.
gave up hope and when Malik Washington muffed that punt and they got the ball?
Pretty much, because after that they just gave up more points and more points and more points, and eventually it's just I don't know why I'm watching. It's a train wreck.
And did when you saw Malik Washington field that punt before that even came down, I was like, he looks so out of position. It's so lost. He looks so much like a Dolphins player against a good team and in the cold weather. You just knew that punt was going to get muffed and they were going to recover it. Was there any chance that you weren't going to get the ball, that you were going to get the ball back?
No, I mean, I when I was in high school, I was a safety. I was a punt returner, and when the ball got up there and you couldn't track it right, you let it go.
Get out of there.
I mean, it's like rule number 1, high school.
Neil, I want to ask you this.
We had a bunch of bad, pro players who don't know the rules, and they make us look bad.
Neil, I still need some explanation on this because my cousin Vladimir, he tried to explain it to me as much. What happened with about 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, 27-11? We get the ball on the goal line. Can't get 1 yard. We turn it over on downs. How did that? I blinked and it happened. Have I been drinking too much this Thanksgiving? I think I'm pretty sober. What happened? Why did that happen?
Because you know what? We got a coach who hasn't figured out how to get a yard.
A yard.
How many times have we seen him? How many times have we seen him with 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, and we don't make it? That's on the coach, and I got to tell you, like, the coach can go too. Like, Chris Greer needs to go, but the coach can go too now.
Well,
he's a little too cute.
He's not going to go.
Puts us in that position. It's time to go.
Unfortunately, he's not going to go because he just got an extension. But my question would be, in that situation, guys, where's Mr. Wright? Why wasn't he put in the game?
Zero.
Huh? In this cold weather, a bruiser like that, a guy who can get you 1 or 2 yards in the goal line. That was it right there. Obviously, that was the game.
Guess what? Green Bay knew what to do. They have a guy called Josh Jacobs that once led the league in rushing and is a tough runner. They knew to get him the ball.
Yeah, that Dolphin running back that they picked up, Chris Brooks. I remember him at Cal. He was a bone crusher.
Oh yeah, he was getting
now he's playing for the other side.
Yeah, he was running on the Dolphins, man.
So we've been sold a bag of goods. It's starting to feel like Mike McDaniel, the run guru, couldn't get the ball in from the 1 yard line after Devon Achane on first down, got to the goal line. Then, second down, he got a 2 yard stoppage. Hey, that happens. Then the weird pass to Jonnu Smith. Then I really thought they had a good play set up. I saw Alec Ingold going in for a block. I thought they were going to give it to Devon Achane and they were going to try to run it in on 4th down. Nope, it's a Tua sack. And that right there is when I said, that's it. That's it. We're done.
Yeah.
You could be the Chicago Bears and Matt Eberflus over there calling absolutely redonkulous plays and not calling timeouts. But I don't know. This one doesn't feel that much better.
No.
At least they were in the game at the end.
Yeah, I got nothing good to say about that game tonight. Like, that was just
Neil.
Nobody does.
Neil, it was 24-3 at halftime. If you're not a Dolphins fan and you're a casual fan, let's just say in Kansas City. I'm trying to think of a town that maybe doesn't have a football team. Like, you're in El Paso, Texas,
San Antonio,
and you're at a bar and you're watching the game. You're like, I ain't paying attention to this no more. This is a blowout, right?
Right.
The only reason you stuck with it is because you were a Dolphins fan and you had hope.
Yep. And then they scrape us down the field. Like, first, like you said, was it 2nd and goal at the 1?
Yeah.
Can't get it in.
Can't get, and of course the halftime thing. You've heard me. I said that instead of us getting the ball right before halftime, scoring, getting it back, scoring, we let them get a field goal, go 3 and out in the second half, and get. It's unbelievable. Neil, happy Thanksgiving. Neil, we really do appreciate that.
Thank you guys, man. We'll talk again. Thanks.
Yes. 305-567-0560. Let's go back to the phone lines. 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey Dan, this is Sean. I'm gonna tell you to punt all the time.
Sean, I know you're ready to tell me what to do, man. And you know what? I can't argue with you. Go ahead.
Nah, bro. Nah. You're a fan, and look, I get it. We want the Dolphins to win, exactly. But they didn't give me anything this year to tell me that they can beat. It's not brain surgery. They beat bad teams.
Yeah.
they lose to good teams.
Yeah.
And I saw that weeks ago. I mean, and it's just what it is, man. And like the last caller, I'm still gonna hold Chris Greer accountable. He said a playoff win. He laughed at the fans. Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, it's time. Look, you don't give me a playoff win, it's time for you to go. And I think a lot of people would agree with me.
Sean, you know, the thing is, all year long, they've been saying, we're changing the narrative. Everything's different now. This is a different team. I started believing in the run game. I started believing in this. And lo and behold, in a game where they had everything to prove, every way to change the narrative, they did the exact opposite and proved the narrative to be absolutely true.
But Dan, God bless you, man. We're 0 for 4 on prime time.
Mm-hmm. Well, we
can't
Rams.
beat a good team. Well, come on. Okay, I'll give you that.
Tua is also 0 for 8 in games where the temperature is under 45 degrees.
So there's something to that, right?
You're right. Numbers don't lie, Sean. You're right. Numbers do not lie.
So where do we go next? That's the thing. Because, this is what I don't want to hear on Monday morning, man. I don't want to hear if this, if that,
no.
if this team wins. I don't want to hear that no more, man.
You're gonna hear
we gotta think about next year.
You're gonna hear it. You're gonna hear it.
I know, Vlad.
Because
I know.
you know why you're gonna hear it? Because we're gonna watch the games on Sunday, and some teams that are ahead of the Dolphins that you needed to lose is gonna lose, and then we're gonna look at the schedule and think, okay, well, we got 2 games against the Jets, we got game against Cleveland. The Niners aren't the same team that we thought they would be, and the Texans haven't been the same Texans from last season. But
here's
the thing. We all know even if they get in the playoff, they're not going to beat anybody.
No.
So you're stuck right now. It's nasty work right now. You're stuck in the middle of mediocrity.
And yes, sir. And and every team you mentioned to me just now is saying the same thing about the Dolphins.
That's the thing. When you said they could be bad teams, I'm like, yeah, they were losing to bad teams too early in the season and during the season. Like, you're not supposed to lose to Tennessee. You're not supposed to lose to the Colts, even with the backup quarterbacks.
Right. I'm so frustrated, man, with this. Because I stay up. I'm watching the game, and you're hoping, you're wishing, you're praying, but you just know how this is going to end.
Yeah, we should have known after that muff punt. We should have known when they were down at halftime, and I told you that terrible sequence of not scoring and then letting Gameday score.
Fourth quarter,
but then the fourth quarter, that fourth down, how we even got in that situation, that's when I said, Vlad, Sean's right, punt on the season. I mean, it's too late to punt now on the season, you know what I mean? But you're right.
You know what bothers me, guys, Sean and Dan?
What's that?
Is the fact that they were starting to, poke their chest out after the win against the Patriots. And started to have me believe that, man, if they win this game against Green Bay and go 6-6, the schedule really falls in their favor. And they had people starting to believe. And then
that's the thing, man. But it's bad teams they were beating.
Right. No, the only
it was all bad teams.
I'm not even gonna say the only good team, Sean. The only playoff team we beat in the past 2 seasons has been the Dallas Cowboys, and we know they were kind of frauds because they're
just the NFC version of the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. So one team had
real tough.
It was a war of attrition. It took us a bunch of field goals and a last-second field goal on Christmas Eve to beat them at home.
Where do we go next with this at the end of the season? That's what I want to know. Where do we go next?
Well, here's the nastiness.
There's nowhere to go.
Yes, sir.
There's really
nowhere to go.
You
Sean.
can't tank because you tank. Are these guys going to tank where you can get you try to get a good draft pick to really solidify a position that you need for the next 5 years or so? Or do you still continue to try to win and get in the playoffs and may not get in the playoff, but now you have like a pick number 19?
Let me ask you this then. Let me ask you this. Would you guys feel better if one person's no longer in the organization? Chris Greer?
I would feel better, yes.
I think that would, well, look, I have a saying. I have a
yes,
saying. It goes from the power to show. Street's gonna need a body, and somebody's gonna have to take the fall for this season's this season's disappointment.
And I'm looking at contracts and I'm looking at players and I'm looking at people, and there's one person that looks like they got the bullseye on their back.
You want to hear the nastiness?
Mm-hmm.
that here's the
Yes,
thing,
sir,
bro. If you really break it down, and I really didn't want to do this, but I told this to Dan. There was a season the Dolphins could really like kind of screw the pooch. It would be this season because you know why? Those contracts don't kick in until next season. Tyreek,
right.
Waddle,
McDaniel,
Tua, they don't kick in until next season because those are extensions.
Man.
So next season is really the season for everyone because after this, what can become a disappointing, just really just like nothing but more than disappointing season. The next season is everybody. Everybody's on the foreman to me. Everybody's on the road.
Oh, Sean, you're right. If we have another season next year like we do this year, when you called a punt early in the season, I'm going to back you up 100% because you can't have all those contracts and have the same type of result that you've had this season next season.
I don't like calling the show when they lose, man, because I just seem like a hater, man. I really am a Dolphin fan. I'm a Texas here. I live here. I've been here 10 years, man. I really want to do it, but man, it's frustrating because some of the fans have been here 50 years, and I can't believe it.
We're all there with you, Sean. We're all frustrated. We're all still riding or dying with our team, but it's just we've done a lot of dying. We want to do a little bit more riding. But you know what, Sean? I'm thankful that you're our friend, man. Thank you so much for calling in and hanging out with us tonight. We appreciate it.
Hey, man. Thanks for the call. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you, man.
Woo! Dolphins lose again.
Not like I said, bro. Like I said, reading a message on the YouTube and Twitch, Cap for Life saying Joe Rose said that everybody's coming back. Yeah, I figured that out weeks ago. I was like, you know what? If you really think about it, they could have messed up this season because the contracts really don't kick in till next season.
Well,
but you know what? What do I always say, Cousin? There's context in losing. There's context, right? So there's context in how your season begins and ends. If they were still a playoff team, they won a game this year, they won a game in the playoff, then you're really looking at next season like, all right, we're ready to make that jump, and everybody's contracts kick in, boom, everybody's solidified, the nucleus there. Now even though everybody's coming back, depending on how next season is, if there's no improvements, if there's no step up, what are you going to do with that nucleus?
Yeah. Oh, no. Yeah, absolutely. What are you going to do? Look, this is the thing. All week long, we want to change a narrative. If you want to change a narrative, you have to change it. We're going to change it. Well, guess what? If you don't want to be called McFraud, if you don't want to be called frauds, if you don't want to be called soft, go out there and make us not call you that.